Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with Rethink Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 42. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at Rethink Coaching. And as always, I just want to thank you for sharing your time with me. Time is our most valuable gift, and I do not take it lightly that you spend some of yours with me. So today, I thought I would come to you and talk to you about potholes in life and potholes in business. And unfortunately, I have a great example for you right now, and that's what I really want to talk about. Not me, but I want to talk about the impact of owning and accepting that in life, things happen, in business, things happen. We might hit a pothole and everything changes that we had planned for that day, that week, that month. Yet, we still have a choice as to how we want to show up and address what is going on versus just plain ignoring it. So if you're watching this video in addition to the audio, you may notice that my face looks a little different today, or hopefully you don't think this is my normal. I was out for my walk run and, I really have a commitment to staying healthier this year and doing some things that I used to do that I love doing. And yesterday, I was out, actually 2 days ago, I was out on my morning exercise and I went a different route. Now, it's a route I've gone a million times, so I know the route really, really well. It happens to be along a busier street than normal, but once you go down, you're in this great part of town and it's amazing. So I'm on my way, and mind you, again, I've been down this road many, many times. And there is a part of the pavement of the road that is cut out just from the way it was laid. And it happens to be right next to a guardrail. And as I was on my way at a pretty quick pace, I stepped in the pothole. And that moment that I did that, it changed everything. Wasn't intentional. It was unintentional. I didn't start my day thinking that was what was going to happen, but I hit the pothole. And to be quite honest, it took a pretty significant tumble. Hit my face against the guardrail and then face planted into the cement. And, it was a moment that I was not planning on having for that day or this week, because I have a lot of things going on. I've got podcasts to do. I've got interviews on Zoom. I have a lot of things happening. And most importantly, I'm speaking at a friend's service this weekend. And when I got up and realized what was going on and that I didn't break anything and I was just kind of messy, I had a choice to make. I could have stayed in being really upset and focused on everything that went wrong. Or like I chose to do, I chose a position of gratitude that I, hit my mouth pretty hard on the ground, didn't break any teeth. I hit my face on the guardrail, didn't break my nose. I landed on my right knee, twisted my left ankle. I mean, it was quite the production out there. But in the moment when that was all happening, I realized in my coaching brain, I had a choice to make, and I was not going to allow myself to be completely derailed by what happened. It is going to require and has required some attention for me to do things differently in my daily routine than I normally do. But this is what I think is so important and so valuable to learn from this. In business and life, there are potholes that we hit. And, some are bigger than others. I would say this one was pretty big. Some, though, let's, say, for example, you're driving, you hit a small pothole and you feel the bump. Some, you hit a pothole hard enough, it might take your car out of alignment. Some, you might blow a tire. I mean, there's all different levels of a pothole. And it is what we choose to do with it that matters the most. So if you're the person, and again, I'm just going to stick with the car analogy, you have something happen in your business. The pothole shows up that you weren't aware of. And again, even if you were aware of it, like you were aware of certain conditions because you do the same thing every day, this pothole was not in the plan and is forcing you to do things differently. And it was in this moment and in the moment when you hit those that you too have a choice as to what you're going to do. And a lot of people will hit that pothole, will be out of alignment in their drive, but just keep on going and ignore it. And it creates damage along the way. The more you drive without getting things fixed, the more damage you might do to your tires, your brakes, your car, the whole bit, the more prone you are to an accident. And that's really no different than your business. If you hit a pothole and you ignore it and you just keep moving forward, you may actually be causing substantial damage to your business and to yourself that you weren't intending to do, but you've chosen to ignore the obvious. The obvious is this new event that has happened that you should address. Now, some of the little minor potholes you can breeze over and life goes on. But I really do believe that these are little warning signs or warning symbols or something that you should pay attention to. And I also think that, like on the road, events happen out of the blue, like a pothole that wasn't on your path before all of a sudden is there. So if you're doing business right now, I think we're all experiencing life with some unexpected and big potholes. Here we are in June of 2024. And I've been in business for a long time. I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. And I will say the last 18 to 24 months have been the most fascinating, challenging, whatever you want to call it, time, because there's so many external circumstances that are beyond our control, but we're having to deal with it. And this economic situation, want to call it a downturn, a recession, a depression, inflation, whatever you want to call it, I don't care, has felt like a really long, slow burn. It has felt like a highway and a path full of a bunch of potholes that we're being forced to deal with. Some we can avoid and some we're going to hit. And so I really want you to spend some time today reflecting over the last 18 to 24 months and just think about the things that you were forced to face that you may have chose to ignore that really need to be addressed. So I could have got back up and I really couldn't have. I got back up and could have I ignored it and continued my run? No. But sometimes the little bumps you can. But there's some significant potholes that you may have hit over the last 18 to 24 months that I really want you to spend some time thinking about, because it's not too late to go back and course correct. It's not too late to go back and fix. And in your business world, we need to address the unexpected event, the pothole, in a couple of different ways. The fact that it happened, the damage that it may have caused, and if it's going to be a reoccurring pathway that we're taking in our business, we're doing some activity that requires us to go down that path, we need to fix the pothole. Otherwise, we're going to keep hitting it day after day after day. And that is when you're at risk for saying, forget it. I'm done. I'm just going to accept my fate and go back to what I know is safe and true. And if I can't hit my goal this year, it's okay. At least I'll do the same as last year, maybe a little bit less, but I'm still okay. And so it's really important to assess the unexpected potholes in your business and to ask yourself, if this is an activity or a pathway that I take all the time to get to my goal, my success, then I need to address it. Because if I don't, I am going to just hit it over and over and over and eventually tire of going that way. And I may stop. I may pivot and go a different path that's not going to get me to goal. And the thing that's most at risk when you do that, and I've seen it happen time and time again, because quite simply, some of us are just getting tired. Some of the clients that I coach are just getting tired because it's been a lot of effort to move through this time in our economy and in what's going on. And some of us are just getting a little exhausted and are looking for a reason to stop. So don't let this pothole be the reason you stop. There's so much at risk. It's not just about making your goal this year. It's your future self that's at biggest risk. If you choose to ignore what's right in front of you, you don't fix it, or you just keep going with a little bit of damage, that future self that you've projected out is the most at risk for not happening or sacrificing. And I just don't want to see that for anybody, because there is always a workaround. There always is. And a pothole, you know what? It's just something that happened and we can deal with it. And here's what I will say. For me this weekend, this is a bump in the road on my journey, because I was starting, you start to get stronger, get better at doing certain things, and you're starting to build up. And I could have, and I did for a moment, went down the path of, well, this is going to change everything. I'm going to be set back to ground zero. It's erased all of the work I've done over the last 6 weeks. And, I could go that path, or I could just neutralize it and say, I fell in a pothole. That's it. I fell in a pothole. Now, yes, I had to address some physical things. But at the end of the day, I fell in a pothole. That's it. And what I know and what I want you to understand is if something like this derails you, you're not starting over. So I might be out of commission for a week. Okay, I can't run for a week. I can't do a walk jog for a week. Okay, great. But when I do go back out, let's say on day 8, not that I'm counting, but when I do go back out, I'm not starting at ground zero where I was 6 weeks ago. Yeah, it might take me a day or two to catch up to where I was, but I'm not starting over. I know what to expect. I know what I'm going to feel. I know what it is going to take to get into the mindset to continue down this path, because exercise, taking care of yourself, really is a mind game as much as it is a physical activity. And it is exactly the same thing for you in your business. It is a mind game. So something happens. It wasn't expected. It's causing me to not get to my goal. And we can apply all of these negative thoughts, negative energy, make it mean something really big. Or we can just say, this event happened. Now I get to choose what I'm going to do to work around it and to fix it so my path to success is smoother. And for those of us that have experienced over the last 18 to 24 months a series of potholes, we need to get to work repairing it, because 9 times out of 10, a pivot doesn't mean abandoning everything you were doing. It simply means we need to look at what we were doing and make sure that it is still going to work, and what can we do to enhance it. We don't ditch the plan just because of one incident or a series of them. Very rarely have I ever coached an entrepreneur where I've said, you just need to tear up your entire business plan and we need to start over with new skill sets, new focus area. I can tell you that's probably happened maybe 1% of the time. And it's not happened because of a pothole. It's just happened because it was a crappy business plan. And so I would just want you to think about that. I did not enjoy falling in that hole this weekend. I didn't. And I don't enjoy when I hit a pothole in my business. But what I love about it is I get to choose how I'm going to let it impact me. And then I get to decide what I'm going to do to move forward. It may be a very simple thing. It may be, for me, running a different path. Okay, great. Problem solved. I'm moving on. It could be in your business that I need to do a few more conversations a week to get to goal. I need to expand where I'm meeting other people that I can serve in my business and go to maybe 1 or 2 more networking events, not recreating and just saying, I got to go do this now. It's really about taking that moment to decide what you're going to do. So I just really am going to invite you to seriously take a peek, because I think no matter what industry you're in, we've been a little impacted by what's happening outside of us economically. And has there been a time where you hit a hole that you have not addressed, and you've either stopped going down that path, like, I'm not going to do that lead gen activity anymore because when I do, I hit this pothole and it's a terrible experience? Or are you going to take the time to fix it so you can get back going down that pathway and move towards your ultimate future self and your goal? That's the magic of it. It's not what actually happens, it's what you do to it. So friends, I know one thing. I'm going to pay more attention when I do what I'm doing. I'm going to learn from this. And I am going to also take a look at the potholes that we have been faced with as a company and just make sure that I'm addressing them, because I do know this: the majority of the time, the plans that you made are great plans. And when you stop going down the road because of this hole, you are giving up and you are risking your overall success. And I just don't want that to be the case for you. So take a peek, look behind the curtain, figure out what you have done that has taken you off course, fill the pothole, get back to smooth driving, and you're going to be great. This is how we grow. I know I've talked about this a lot in multiple of the podcasts an episode that I've talked to you about. And if you're one of my clients, you hear me say this all the time. This is just feedback. It's just feedback. For me, this last couple days has been feedback of, I need to watch where I'm running. And also, I'm in really good shape that I was able to hit the ground that hard with a little stop along the way with my face into a guardrail, and was still in good enough condition to get up and take care of myself. So it's the same thing. Take a look, assess, use the feedback that's right in front of you. fix the issue and move forward. It is not a time to stop your momentum. Business in motion stays in motion, kind of like a body in motion stays in motion. A business in motion stays in motion. Are you staying in motion, or have you hit the brakes and just said, I'm not going to do it again for fear of something like that happening again? And when you don't fix it, you're right, it's going to happen again. So take a look at your business, take a look at your life. Where have there been these moments of feedback that I have not taken care of? Take care of it, and then you will feel so much better to be able to get back on a familiar track that you are moving towards your goal and your success. So this was a podcast in the making, in the moment, where I just realized that there's going to be these things that happen, and I want you to be ready to deal with them versus getting sidetracked. If you have any questions or you need any help, you can always reach out to me. Tony@rethinkcoaching.com is my email address. You can find me on Instagram and direct message me. Tony M. Caliendo is Instagram. I'm on Facebook. You can Google me. You can find my cell phone. You can do whatever you need to do. If you've got a question and you need help, reach out. In addition, we've got some really, really, really powerful group coaching programs available. So for those of you who may not be ready for a one-on-one program but would like to work on your business strategies and your thought strategies and ultimately get to success, and this is just an example of the importance of a thought strategy, come and join us. Go to my profile, go to our website. If you go to my Instagram profile, it's probably the easiest where you're going to find everything. We've got free webinars. We've got great 6-week programs. We've got one-on-one coaching. It's there for the taking. But if you are not in that position and you need help, please reach out. I will be glad to schedule a strategy call with you at no cost and see what we can do in the hour that we could carve out together and figure out your path forward. So thanks for being here. As always, I'm going to see you next week. Hopefully things will be looking a little bit better and I will be fully on the road to recovery, and hopefully I will have a walk run under my belt the next time that I talk to you all. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.